Hi students, welcome back to yet another brand new episode of the video lessons that we have started. Already two videos in this series have been uploaded and this is the third video. In this video, we are going to discuss the impact of British rule. So many questions and answers are discussed in this video. Please observe the video till the end and try to make use of the content given. Over to the video. History Chapter 3: The Impact of British Rule in India. To begin with, we shall discuss some one-mark questions. How did the British dominate over Indian rulers? Through divide and rule policy. Who introduced civil services? Lord Cornwallis. Why did the Government of England implement Regulating Act in India? To control the corruption of the employers in the East India Company. Why did Lord Cornwallis open Fort William College in Calcutta? For the benefit of people who were aspiring to join civil services. Since when were the appointments for civil services done through competitive examinations? Since 1853. All the natives of Hindustan are completely corrupt. Who said it? Lord Cornwallis. Which were the courts established by Warren Hastings? Diwani Adalat as a civil court and Fauzdari Adalat as a criminal court. The British courts in the beginning dispensed the justice on the basis of religions. How? Hindus were dispensed justice as per the Hindu scriptures and the Muslims as per the Shariat. Who implemented the efficient police system in India for the first time? Lord Cornwallis. Who was in charge of a police station? Kotwal. Who was in charge of a village? Chowkidar. Why was the entire police system brought under the control of the British officers? Because of the severe drought of 1770 that led to the weak law and order situation. Under who was the police officers? The police officers were under the power of the magistrates. When was the police law implemented? In 1861. When was the police commission law implemented? In 1902. What was the highest rank that an Indian could reach in the British Army? The rank of Zubedar. What caused for the redesigning of the military system? Peel recommendations of 1857. The East India Company had to pay 4 lakh pounds to the British government. Why? For its control over Bengal province. Creation of a new class of Indians who are Indian by body but British in intelligence, opinion and taste. Who said? Macaulay. What is policy of assertion? In order to understand the aspirations of Indians, representation to be given to Indians. When were Indians allowed to participate in the process of creating laws for the first time? In 1861 according to the Indian Council Act. What is Minterm reforms? The Indian Council Act of 1909 is known as Minterm reforms. From now on we shall discuss long answers. Explain permanent zamindari system. Lord Cornwallis implemented it. The zamindar was expected to pay the agreed land tax to the company on a set date every year. He was free to collect any amount of land taxes from the farmers and could retain the excess money collected. If the zamindar was unable to collect land taxes due to flood and famine and pay the company, the ownership of the lands was taken away by the company. The farmers were the grave sufferers. They were exploited and had to lead a life of insecurity. Bihar, Odisha, Andhra and Varanasi regions had this type of land tax policies. Explain Mahalwari system. The company government entered an agreement at the level of Mahals. Uttar Pradesh and in many parts of Madhya Pradesh, Punjab and Delhi had this type of system. R.M. Bayard and James Thompson implemented the system. The company officials fixed more land tax than the expected production from the fields. Many zamindars had to lose their ownership of the land. The marginal farmers and agricultural laborers who were dependent of these zamindars also suffered due to this. Explain Raitwari system. This was implemented in a Baramahal region by Alexander Reed, and it was implemented in Madras and Mysore region by Thomas Munro. Under this system, both the farmer and the company were directly linked. The tiller of the land was recognized as the owner of the land. The owner had to pay 50% of the produce as land tax to the company. What was the impact of the British land tax system? A new class of zamindars was created. The farmers became landless slowly. Land became a commodity. Many zamindars also had to mortgage their lands in order to pay the land taxes. The agricultural sector became commercialized. The moneylenders became strong. Next question. Which were the educational institutions that the British had started? New schools were started for the children of British and Europeans. Warren Hastings started Calcutta Madrasa. Jonathan Duncan started Sanskrit College in Banaras. Charles Grant pressed for the universalization of British education. The report on education submitted by Macaulay in 1835 became the base of the modern education in India. Governor General Lord Dalhousie established universities in Calcutta, Bombay and Madras as per the suggestions of Charles Wood's commission. Next question. What was the impact of the British education in India? Indians could develop modernity, secularism and democratic attitudes. Local literature and languages developed. Periodicals started emerging. New social and religious reform movements emerged. Western thinkers changed the minds of educated youth of India. The freedom struggles across the globe influenced the Indians also. Indians could understand and appreciate their rich tradition. What were the major features of the Regulating Act of 1773? Bengal Presidency gained control over other two presidencies, that is Madras and Bombay. The Governor of Bengal became the Governor General. The Governor General was authorized to direct, exercise control, supervise over other two presidencies. The Bombay and Madras presidencies could not do anything without the permission of the Governor General. Supreme Court of Judicature was established in Calcutta. What were the features of the Charter Act of 1813? This act licensed the East India Company to stay for another 20 years in India, that is till 1833. A new era of license and authorization started. The board of directors was vested with the powers to appoint the Governor General and the Commander in Chief. The Christian churches were allowed to enter India officially to start educational institutions and conversion to Christianity. What were the features of the Charter Act of 1833? The Governor General of Bengal became Governor General of India. The Governor General supervised all trades in India. The central government of Bengal had the final right to decide anything. The Act barred any discrimination based on religion, birth, and skin color. The Governor General was mandated to appoint a law professional as member to his executive committee, that was Lord Macaulay. All British companies were allowed to have trade relationship in India. What were the features of Indian Government Act of 1858? The license of the East India Company was cancelled and India was brought under the direct administration of the Queen Victoria. The post of Governor General was changed to Viceroy. Viceroy was the representative of the Queen. A new post called Secretary of State for India was created in the British government. A Council of India was created in order to assist the Secretary of State. Next, explain the features of Indian Council Act of 1909. The total number of Central Legislative Council members was increased to 60 from 16. The number of regional council members was also increased. Representation of the regional council was allowed through election for the first time. And the most important point, in order to provide separate representation for Muslims, separate electoral college was created. Next question. Explain the features of Indian Council Act of 1919. Act formulated bicameral legislative body, that is lower house and upper house, was formed. Diarchy was allowed at regional governments, and a High Commissioner was appointed for India. The British promised to improve local self-government. Provincial budget was separated from the central budget. Separate electoral college was extended from Muslims to Sikh, Anglo-Indians and Europeans. The last question. Explain the features of Indian Government Act of 1935. A federal system of Indian principalities, British governed regions and dominion states was formed. Indian Federation. Reserve Bank of India was established. So when was Reserve Bank of India established? 1935. Diarchy was established at the center. In 1919 it was in the regions. Diarchy was cancelled at the regional level. Next point. The federal court was established. So that's all for the time being. If you liked this video, please click the like button and subscribe my channel for more videos like this. Thank you.